Hello everybody, it's Andrew Hutchings here. Still not a doctor, never giving medical advice, just giving my opinion and educational information all in one place in the spoken word of my voice. And this video is a follow-up to my last video on how to keep the weight off, how to end or cure, I don't remember what I titled it exactly, your addiction. This video is a follow-up because that video was focused on food, and just thought it'd be good to make a video that's more focused on drugs or alcohol, because that's also important for your fitness, career, goals, whatever. You're not gonna get in the greatest shape if you are using benzos or opiates and making your muscles all relaxed all the time. You're not gonna be able to lift heavy weights. You're not gonna be able to be focused and dedicated if you're smoking weed all the time. You're not going to be able to build up a lot of bodily tissue if you're doing meth, because it's very catabolic, the opposite of anabolic. Now, the only drugs you could be addicted to and build a lot of muscle would be steroids, because of course they are specifically for building muscle, but other drugs, no, they're bad. I mean, steroids are bad too, but good for muscles. So, in my other video I talked about how you have to make your life the most conducive to allowing you to stop the habit you don't like. Now, something I don't like about my last video is I kind of made it sound like you have to first only focus on improving your life, creating the life that makes you happy, and then everything else just falls in place. But you do actually have to take an active role in eliminating the addictions from your life. The addictions like television, alcohol, drugs, eating, shopping, whatever it is for you. You do have to take an active role in that while you work on creating a life that gets you off of them for good and not needing them and not having to actively try to stop doing it. So with drugs and alcohol, I know lots of people that are addicted to these things, and the number one thing I'd say that makes your situation have the lowest chances of you ending those addictions is when you have no responsibility. Now, what people consider responsibility is different. There's different levels of responsibility, because you may say, I have responsibility, I have to do X, Y, and Z, but then you go, well, how much do those things really matter to you? Is that really a responsibility, or is that kind of like a fake responsibility? But things like having a job certainly help. If you need that job, and no matter how many responsibilities you have, you might always blow them away and be an addict. But if they're truly good responsibilities that are important to you, it's definitely going to help. Say you have a family you have to support. Great reason to be responsible, not do drugs, not be an alcoholic, and be able to support them. Say you don't have a family, but you have a job. Yeah, that's a good responsibility, so you can keep a roof over your head and everything. Now, obviously, a lot of people with drugs end up ignoring that responsibility and becoming homeless, and there's a lot of homeless people because of that. So it's not a perfect fix, but the more responsibility you can give yourself, the less you can afford to be out of it high and drunk. Now, obviously, a lot of people are functioning alcoholics, functioning drug addicts, but it at least should keep things under control a little bit. Now, probably a lot of people out there saying there's no such thing as control. Yeah, there is. Now, it's best to not be a functioning alcoholic or a functioning drug addict, but it's certainly better than being a non-functioning alcoholic or non-functioning drug addict. So take what you can get and work on getting even higher, but don't discount each step you take towards getting away from your addiction or keeping it under wraps. Responsibility, but the thing is, without this other thing, and I'm going to try to make it like a thing, not just a generalized, you have to have something that matters to you in life. A person, a project, something. Because even if you have all the responsibility, it doesn't matter. If there's not something in life that matters to you, I mean, what is responsibility doesn't matter if you can just blow it off, like we kind of mentioned earlier, about how a lot of people just throw away their responsibility for work and become homeless. So, say you have a family that you care about, and you do care about them, hopefully you do, that's a really good reason for you to not let yourself go with drugs or alcohol. Even if you just have a girlfriend and you want to be there for her and have an amazing life together, that might matter to you a lot more than having a roof over your head. Because I know not a lot of people realize this, but for drug addicts and alcoholics, having a home isn't necessarily always the most important thing. Drugs are more important oftentimes to them. That's why they become homeless. It's not because it's just overwhelming. I don't know what the other ideas are. Of course, sometimes the drugs do take over and you're not thinking clearly, and they would not realize their situation's spiraling out of control. But oftentimes it's also because they choose drugs or alcohol over their responsibilities. So you gotta find something that matters to you. I can't say what that thing is. You gotta find it. You gotta have purpose in life and responsibility, but also the happiness. I can't believe I forgot about that because I mentioned it in the last video, so it's probably why I forgot. So you gotta do away with the toxic, instant pleasure stuff like alcohol, drugs, television, whatever, while working on improving your life and making sure you have enough responsibility and things that matter to you. Because if you don't have any of those, you're gonna just fall into vices. Maybe it's not drugs or alcohol. I mean, my last video was about eating. Problem with eating is this stuff I talked about doesn't apply as much to it because overeating doesn't tend to require, it doesn't interfere with your responsibilities. You can work a lot and provide for your family and overeat. But it's a lot harder to work a lot and provide for your family if you are blasted out of your mind on drugs and alcohol. Now, if you're a multi-billionaire, that's going to be a real hard one for you because chances are you don't need to do anything, you're set for life. In which case you just gotta work on getting happiness and eliminating the toxic instant reward things from your life. And that way you can start to get rewarded from life itself, the normal things. And something I forgot to mention in my last video, and I actually mentioned it to my friend who's pretty fat, is I was like, go hang out with friends as much as you can. Like, maybe that's not the perfect solution and it can become an addiction in itself, but that's a good, normal, healthy thing to do. And he was like, oh yeah, when I hang out with friends, I'm not overeating. I don't eat for like 10 hours if I hang out with people. And I don't check my phone much either. I was like, see? So yeah, maybe you won't find this video helpful at all. Like I said, I know a lot of people with addiction issues, and I see what works, what doesn't work. But sometimes even when you have all the things that I say matter, addiction overrules it. Not because the person is genetically predisposed to be addicted their whole life. Just because that person chooses their drugs or alcohol, their food or whatever, over all the other stuff. It comes down to choice at the end of the day. Now, of course, you have to make your choice as easy to be in your favor as possible. Like I mentioned in the last video, don't set yourself up for failure. Don't break your leg, break up with your girlfriend, lose your job, and then expect yourself to choose not to do drugs. Because you're going to choose to do drugs because everything else in your life is horrible. It's not setting yourself up to make an easy choice. But if you are in shape, you're exercising a lot, you have a girlfriend, you got a great job, everything, It's a lot easier to go, oh, no, let's not do that. So remember, set yourself up for success, not failure. That's everything. Like I said in the last video, everything you do, you gotta think of the underlying things that factor into that. So it's like building muscle. You don't want to just go to the gym and work out as much as possible. I mean, you should certainly do that, but if you're really trying to have success with it, you don't want to sleep 2 hours a night, not eat any food, and smoke meth, because you're not going to build a lot of muscle. It doesn't matter that you're going to the gym. Make your overall factors that factor into that as good as possible. Eat enough food, get enough sleep, don't use drugs, don't drink alcohol. And then you'll have the best results. So yeah, to recap, responsibility and something that matters, or purpose or something. I hope you like this video. I know it's not straight exactly fitness stuff, but I think it's related to fitness because it's about having an overall better life, better health, more happiness, because happiness is very important. And hopefully it can help you. But like I said, it's not all about only fixing all these things. You also have to make the active choice. It's just that eventually your willpower is going to run out. So hopefully you fix all the underlying things before your willpower runs out. Because you can decide, I'm not going to drink alcohol. But if you don't fix any of this stuff, it's just like you can decide, I'm going to lose weight. And you can lose the weight. But if you don't fix any of the things that push you to do that, you're going to go back to it. So stop, fix the things that cause it, that push you to do that, and then you don't have to worry that you're going to go back to it. And check out my other videos. I pointed this way on my last one, and it ended up pointing in the wrong direction, so whatever side they are on, check them out. But I have so many that either there or there, you know, my circular icon, you can click on it because I've got like 180 videos. Mostly they're more about fitness and stuff. I am still a fitness person. And you can hire me for training advice, consultations, plans, whatever. Diet advice, consultations, plans, whatever. Supplement advice, consultations, plans, or whatever. Why I say all that and whatever is because I'm not a strict person. Oh, you can only have this or this or this. No, we'll just figure out what works the best. Maybe you need a combination of a plan plus a consultation. Maybe you only need a consultation. Maybe you only need a plan. Maybe you only, whatever, I don't know. But I cannot offer you medical advice. No, I know you would love it because most doctors suck. And I am saying that because it's true. Most people who work as doctors are not doctors and should never work as doctors. That's the truth. I'm not gonna hide it. When somebody who is not meant to be a doctor works as a doctor, it leads to hurting people and even killing people. So, too bad they're not just gonna all quit and change professions because they love money and they want to get the money from working as a doctor. So they're not gonna stop. Who knows, hopefully we'll fix it someday, but you can come to me for a consolidation of medical information, all put in one place, along with my opinion. But never medical advice, until I'm a licensed physician. Yeah, I gotta use fancy words like physician, you can't just say doctor. Yeah, I will be one of the people that is a doctor, and meant to work as a doctor. I mean, it's like, you wouldn't think someone could go to art school and become Michelangelo. It's hilarious to think about it, really. You can't go to school and become something. People say, I want to become a doctor. It's like, no, you're either born a doctor or you're not born a doctor. Going to school allows you to learn more and be more effective at what you already are and get licensed to legally work as a doctor. But you either are an artist or you're not an artist. You can improve, but you'll never be like an actual artist. You can be an Olympic sprinter, or you cannot be an Olympic sprinter. No matter how much you practice, you're never gonna be like a true Olympic sprinter person. You are born how you are born. Then you can work to change it a bit, but it's mostly determined by how you're born, what you did in your early years. Now, I'm not saying that nobody who was not born a certain way can't get to a point where they're just as good as someone who was born that way, because if someone's born with the most amazing genetics for running, but they never run in their life, and somebody else is born with lesser genetics for that specific thing, and they practice it all the time, they could actually become better. But the human body is a very important, particular thing, because you're dealing with people's health. I mean, nothing's more important than that. So if you don't truly have that connection with it, the understanding, not just remembering, oh, well, this does this, this does that. No, you have to just, like, it's like your eyes are closed and you just see it flowing through into your head. If you don't have that understanding, you should not work as a doctor. Unless there are no other doctors and somebody really needs you, then do it. But if there's enough other doctors, do not work as a doctor. Go be a construction worker or a police officer or a telephone answering person. I think a lot of doctors would be great at that. They certainly are not good at being doctors. Be whatever. Do whatever makes you happy, but don't work as a doctor because you are screwing up people's lives. You're screwing up their health. Now, you've heard me rant enough about doctors. In case you haven't noticed, I have a problem with a lot of people that work as doctors. And I really hate calling them doctors nowadays even. I like to call them people who work as doctors, because they're not doctors. So if you need a consolidation of medical information, all put in one place, like on a typed document or spoken through my mouth to you on the phone or something, along with my opinion, my non-licensed physician opinion, and no advice in any way, shape, or form, then you can buy that as well. And very soon, it's my book on tendinitis, not written by a doctor. What a shock. It's more like if you're going to an actual doctor, your chances of success at improving your health are lower than going to someone who's not a doctor, not a licensed physician. So yeah, my book on tendinitis is great for people who do not like tendinitis, do not like wasting all their money, do not like wasting all their time, and do not like living in pain. But if you love pain and misery and wasting your time and money and everything, don't buy it. But it's $100. That $100 will save you so much money, but more importantly, it's going to save you time, because you can't get back your time. You have one life. Make it as good as possible with what I tell you in this video and the last video. Enjoy it as much as possible, and don't waste that time in pain, going to doctors and physical therapists just for making sure I don't get in trouble. I'm not saying don't go to doctors and physical therapists. I'm saying it'll give you the ability that you don't need to, because you won't have tendinitis wherever it is. So I hope you like this video. Like, subscribe, and comment. I mean, if you like it, then you can help me out a little bit. Maybe someday I'll have a ton of followers and likes and stuff. Who knows?